and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I am streaming to you from beautiful Central Europe here in the capital of Hungary, Budapest. Hi Danish, hi Shanghung, good to see you in class on time and respecting each other, saying a salutation, that's fantastic. This is a members chat class. Members can chat. Everybody is welcome to watch. To become a member, click the join button beside the subscribe button. And this class is focusing on speaking part 2. Now, after this class, we will have an all chat class focusing on speaking part 3. This lesson is brought to you by our world-class online preparation IELTS web portal at aehelp.com for academic IELTS, and for general, check us out at gieltshelp.com. That's general IELTS help.com. While we wait for a few more of our members to join in on this session, I will show you those websites. This is the academic one here. Click that red button to join our premium package. Spend a couple dollars, save yourself a lot of headache and money not to keep repeating the exam. For the general, it's this website here with the green background, similar look, but of course the writing and reading parts of the website are different in the exams, the videos, and so on. You can click that red button to join us there. Raghuram, welcome to the membership. I see that you have a second level or level 2 membership. Send me an email and I'll hook you up with those exams and videos, okay? So welcome, Raghu. And if anybody has questions, comments, send them to my email. So Raghu, send me an email to Adrian, Adrian, at aehelp.com, and then I can hook you up with those unique videos and our 6 exams. All right, students, if you're looking for our exams in paperback version or soft copy version, you can get them from Amazon. Search for AE Helps Academic IELTS or GE Helps General. Okay. And today we have these 2 classes. Then I am occupied with some other endeavors on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So no class Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But I will be back on Tuesday at 15 o'clock Central European time with speaking part 1. And I will post the schedule for next week's live stream on the community chat, so you can check it out there, along with a lot of other goodies. Yesterday I posted the task 1 question and response. All right, so without further ado, let's get into today's part 2 cue card. And we will work together, members, to plan and respond to today's question effectively. Okay? Again, strategy is very important in the speaking part of the IELTS exam. The speaking has 3 parts. After part 1, the examiner will say, that is the end of part 1. Now we will begin with part 2. For part 2, here's a card. Please do not turn that over yet. Here's a pencil and here's some note paper. You will have 1 minute to look at the questions on the card. Think about your answers. You may take notes in the 1 minute if you wish, and then you will have 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start and when to stop. Are you ready to begin? Confidently say, yes, I am. Yes, I'm ready to start. Let's go. Okay? And of course, take notes in the 1 minute. That 1 minute, that 60 seconds, it's a very critical time to collect the right ideas and to come up with the right answers. Okay? So, for part 2, You have to answer the specific question. Do not thank the examiner for asking you the question. Okay. First step is flip the card and look at the question carefully. Identify whether it is a person, place, object, event, or an idea. And I see we have lots more members in now. Hi, Preeti. Hi, Roshni. Hi, Barendra. Thank you for purchasing our premium course, Barendra. I saw that, by the way. That's great. All right. So here we identify that we're talking about a person, clearly about a person. So when we talk about a person, what do we need to include in the response? Okay. And Roshni's saying, well, it's kind of an event as well. We're talking about a person who's active, so there has to be some mention of events. Roshni, that's good to think about for sure. So when we talk about a person, what should we include? Okay, so a person should include their appearance, Shang Hung says, what they look like, especially for this topic, right? We're talking about a fit person. So the appearance is pretty important here. So appearance, okay, their personality, and then also their personality, do these as pluses, their personality is always backed up by what? Okay, we got personality, we got appearance. No, not the origin, Roshni. That's not so important. We don't have to say where they were born or where they're from. Preeti says their work, even more generally speaking, Preeti, their actions, their activities, okay? So that might include their work, their study, their hobbies. So that could be a range of different activities. And you should always think personality is backed up by activities. Okay, good. So we have that in mind. We're looking at the specific question here. Now, with this kind of question, pay really close attention. Oh, I'm not sure why I lost you there. Just give me a second. I'll get you back. Okay. So pay really close attention to the details of that introductory question. Okay. So the first line, it's really important. So one of the common mistakes I see with this kind of question is people start talking about a healthy and fit person who's very famous, like Cristiano Ronaldo or some other famous athlete that people watch on television. And that's not necessarily a person that you know, okay? So you have to really pay attention, not just to healthy and fit person, but it has to be a person that you know. If you talk about a person that you do not actually know personally, you will lose band scores. Okay? All right? So don't just pay attention to this, but pay attention to that you know. All right? Okay, so Preeti right away says, well, I could talk about my brother. Sure, and you can make this up, right? It doesn't have to be the truth, so you don't have to honestly talk about someone you know who's super fit. You can just make it up that it's your brother or your father or your cousin, okay? So Danish, talking about Virat Kohli, the cricket batsman, would not be a good idea because you don't really know them. When the question says fit person you know, it doesn't mean you know of them. It doesn't mean like you know them because you see them on television. It actually means like you're personally somehow connected to them. Okay? All right? Barendra says, my IELTS teacher, Adrian. Thank you, Barendra. All right. So pay attention to that. And then, of course, pay attention to the remaining questions. Who is the person? What sports do they play? How does playing sports affect this person's life? What is your opinion of him or her? Now, members, it's really, really important, and viewers, that you answer the question specifically. You must answer questions specifically and sound natural for part 2. Okay? You must not sound like you memorized some answers. Okay? So it really has to seem like you're answering this card and you're not just rehearsing and repeating phrases that you memorized. Okay? All right. How much time should I spend on each of these questions? So I have about 2 minutes, 1.5 to 2 minutes. You can pretend, Roshni, you can, as long as you sound natural, you can pretend, but you must not sound like you memorized some answer, okay? So how much time should we spend on these questions? So how much time should I spend on who is the person in this case? And I'm looking for a specific number here, like how many seconds on average should I spend on question number 1? Who is the person? Okay, so Roshni says on the first couple questions, spend maybe 30 seconds. Okay. All right. So Raghu says 30 seconds per question. No, Raghu, that's too much for these questions. Okay. So for these ones, Roshni's right. It should be about 30 seconds total. Okay, so roughly 10 to 15 seconds each. Okay. Okay, how much time should I spend on the last 2 questions here? So how does playing sports affect this person's life? What is your opinion of him or her? How much time should I spend on those last 2 questions, roughly, out of that 90 to 120 seconds? Okay, so Shanghung says clearly the remainder of the time. So you should spend about a minute to a minute and a half. It depends how the examiner stops you, okay? Because notice here the instructions say you will have 1 to 2 minutes to talk about this topic. That's because the IELTS lets the examiner decide when to stop you. If the examiner feels that a student is really stuck and they can't continue speaking, then they will just stop them after 1 minute. If the examiner feels like the student or the candidate is repeating the same idea over and over again, they'll just stop them after 1 minute or 90 seconds. Okay, they're not going to wait for you to just keep saying the same idea over and over. So you have to give different ideas. So for these last 2, or sometimes if they have a very busy day and they have a lot of candidates to interview, they'll stop you at 90 seconds. Even 30 seconds matters for them, okay? So this one is 1 minute, or let's do it a little bit differently. So 60 to 90 seconds, okay? 60 to 90 seconds for these last 2. All right? That's roughly how you should think about it. Practice that at home, okay? So practice that allocation of time, okay? Shanghung is asking, can we glance at our watch to see how much time is left? If you have a wristwatch, Shanghung, yeah, you could probably take a quick peek at that. But if you practice it at home, you can feel that. So you'll be able to feel that time difference. Okay. Roshni, there isn't really fairness in the world. I hate to be the one to tell you that, but that's just the way that it works. Okay. So if you're able to, Roshni, if you're able to give good information, different information with details, they'll let you talk for the 90 seconds to 2 minutes and you'll get a good mark anyway. Okay. Preeti says they don't let you have a watch. In some cases, no. Shanghung, in Taiwan, it might be different. You might be allowed a watch. I probably wouldn't have like a smartwatch on my hand because that looks kind of funny. But if you have an analog, traditional style watch, they probably wouldn't say much about that. Okay, all right. In India, Danish, yeah, I don't think you're allowed a wristwatch. Shanghung might be different in Taiwan. Okay, all right. But regardless of that, students, you should feel the time. So when you're doing the IELTS exam, in the speaking, you should feel that 2 minutes when you're practicing at home, okay? All right. So let's go to the next step. All right, I identified it's a person. What do I do now? So what's my next step? I simply choose someone, right? So this is a person that I know, so I just choose someone. That's obviously my next step. Here, I don't need to think about 2 or 3 different people. I just need to think of one person and I can make up information, right? So let's just say my brother, okay? So that's nice about this type of question is that the choice is very quick. So choice, we're talking about my brother. And my next step is the notes. Are the notes. Okay. So what should I write about first in my notes? What kind of notes? What should I write down in my notes first? Now, I have to use my 30, 40-second note time very well in this case. This is a visual question, right? We're talking about a fit person. So what would make sense? Yeah, so Roshni says probably the appearance. So let's get a couple of notes down about the appearance. Okay, give me these notes. Okay, so Raghu says some keywords so that we can elaborate on the topic. Absolutely. Roshni, the first sentence, use that a little bit differently. Okay, Ivan says choose Adrian because we can see him. You can talk about anyone, Ivan. Just adapt and apply the information. Okay. Amarjit says his name, his age. Okay, so brother, sure. What's brother's name? Let's call the brother Tom. Okay. Okay, instead of now telling me what we need to say, actually give me the information. Remember, you're talking about a fit person, so describe a fit person. What vocabulary, this is a little bit of vocabulary practice here, what vocabulary describes a fit person? Okay? Give me the vocabulary. What words do you know in English? Okay, Shanghung, very good. So 178 centimeters. Okay, so height would be very good. 66 kilograms, Shanghung. It's pretty light for a person that's quite fit. Unless they have very toned muscles. Okay, so let's go with a little bit heavier. Let's go 78 kilos, okay? Let's go a little heavier. Sure. Okay. So trained for 6 years. That's going more into his activity, Shanghung. Yvonne says slim. Okay, so now we're going into physical features. Muscular, very good, Preeti. Yeah, athletic body is pretty good, Amarjit. That still needs more description. So slim, muscular. Toned is another word that you can use. Okay. So still focusing on physical here. Anybody know what these are called? So what's this called? This part of the body, this muscle. Going to help you with some vocabulary here as well. So what's that part of the body? Barendra says the bi shape. Close, Barendra. Yeah, not bad. It's biceps. Very good. Biceps. Okay, so large biceps. Good. Strong quads and hamstrings. Those are the large muscles of the leg. So on the leg, the upper part of the leg, those are the quads and the hamstrings. Okay. How about the stomach? So if somebody has a stomach, there's actually a couple of interesting expressions in English when somebody has a very defined, strong tummy or stomach where you can see those shapes. It's the abs. Do you know what we call it when somebody has very clear muscles of the abs? There's an actual expression for that in English. Roshni, very good. It's not 4, it's actually 6. So we say 6-pack. Okay, good. Defined abs, 6-pack. And you sometimes will hear people say a washboard. Stomach. Okay, so those are different ways. All right, so just some vocabulary there for you for the future. All right, so defined abs, 6-pack, a washboard, stomach. Washboard is in the old days when people used to use those boards that had those defined pieces of wood to wash clothes on. So washboard, stomach. Okay, good. All right, so we have some great notes for describing the physical features of your brother. Now we want to go to activities, and some of you already started with that. So when you're doing this, members, separate. So separate the appearance from activity, okay? Let's see. So Shang Hung says, has been training regularly for the past 6 years. Okay, and learn these short forms of words for your notes. Years, YRS. Don't write it out. So 6 years training. And don't even write the word 6. Instead, use the number. So 6 years training. Preeti says, I have 2. Okay. All right. So what other actions would we want to include here? So 6 years of training. Look at the card too. When you're taking your notes, members, take a quick peek at the card. So here it says, what sports do they play? Okay. So spends 1 hour at the gym. Okay. That's Amarjeet. Very good. So Amarjeet, you would write that like this. 1 hour at gym. Okay, that's enough. Okay. And you might do this as well, quickly. Students, and this is a common question, should I take notes in English or in my own language? Learn to take notes in English for the speaking section. It's very important, especially for the high band scores. You do not want your brain jumping between another language and English while you're speaking, especially because you need to use your notes. So if you're speaking in English and then suddenly you look at your notes and your notes are in Hindi or in Thai or in Mandarin or Spanish, and your brain is now reading and then now speaking in English, that's very awkward for the brain. Different languages use different parts of the brain, so it's not a good idea to write down notes in another language, especially if you need a band 6, 5, 7 or more. Okay? All right. Raghu's asking, does it matter? What if I just use mental notes? Raghu, your score is just based on what you say. However, I definitely suggest learning to write down notes, not just mental notes, and using them effectively during your speech. Okay? All right. Okay, so Roshni says badminton. Yeah, so let's list some sports. Now, members, sports can be divided into two kind of main groups. Okay, I really always want you to visualize. So, what are the two groups that sports can be kind of separated into when we talk about sports? Okay, what are the two big groups of types of sports that we can choose between? Okay, Roshni says indoor, outdoor. That's one, sure. So you might make a note of that. Okay, that's not what I'm thinking, but okay. That wasn't what I was thinking. Yeah, Yvonne, very good. So Yvonne is more on the same track as me. So Yvonne says team sports and individual sports. Okay, so team and individual. All right. So that would be a very good note to write down, team and individual sports. So somebody who's fit and athletic, they probably do both team and individual sports, or that's a good piece of information to say because it's a good way to give details and increase your band score. So my brother plays team sports as well as individual sports, right? And then you can think of some team sports like football, cricket, okay? And you can think of individual sports like badminton and swimming. Okay. All right. So good. Those are some good notes. Now, again, remember, we only have about 40 seconds for notes. So you don't have a lot more time for notes. We need to make sure that we don't forget about these last two questions. We're spending 1 minute to 90 seconds answering these last two questions. So we really need to make sure that we have at least a few points that deal with these questions. So how does sports affect this person's life? And again, visualize. Yeah, Barundra, dancing would be an okay sport as well, for sure. Dancing is a sport, especially if you're competitive. Okay. So how does sports affect a person's life? Visualize, think generic. Think about what most people would say about athletic people. Okay. Shanghung, you don't have to really get into before and after playing sports, like they were this way before sports, they became this way after sports. You could, Shanghung, but it's okay to just focus on how does sports affect this person's life. So what are some of the most obvious impacts of sports? Think of the most generic, okay? Remember, the examiner is your grandfather or like an alien. It means they don't know what you know. You have to say it to them. So Shanghung says he's energetic. He was fat before, now he's fit. Okay, so energetic, hardworking. Sure, but even before that, so keep it more simple. Okay, Roshni says, sports not only make my brother more efficient in his work, but also keep him active all day. Sure. Jitendra says, sports help enhance the fitness level and give him confidence. Confidence is a good one. Absolutely. Sports definitely help people improve their confidence. That's why sports are good to do for the IELTS exam. If you go swimming, jogging regularly, your band scores will go up because you will think better and you will be more confident. So, before that, students, what do sports do? Think simple. Think about this. Think about this. So, even before you go to confidence and all that, specifics, you can think healthy body and healthy mind, right? Okay. Amarjeet, very good. So optimistic. Okay. Okay, you don't need more than that. So Students, you don't need more than that. If you think optimistic, if you think confidence, if you think hardworking, energetic, and you think healthy body, healthy mind, that's lots. You should be able to talk for at least 60 to 90 seconds on those 4 points. Why? Because you need to back that up with action, right? So what does it mean to have a healthy body? Roshni says reduce diseases, right? So never get sick, right? That would be a good one. You can elaborate on that. What does it mean to be optimistic? Can you give me an example of these ones here? So pick any one, members, and just elaborate on that for me. So what does it mean to be optimistic? What does it mean to be confident? What does it mean to be hardworking? Elaborate on any one of those points, okay? So Shang Hung says argues less. All right, arguing less is kind of like a negative antonym paraphrase of optimistic. Give me an example, Shang Hung. So give me a real life example of optimism. Amarjeet, if the examiner doesn't stop you after 1 minute, continue elaborating. Okay, continue elaborating. Okay, so Shang Hung, he doesn't give up. Can you give me an actual example of that? Okay, Yvonne says to believe in yourself and be a good yourself and in a good future. So what is that, Yvonne? So what would be your brother believing in himself and in a good future? What would be an example of that? Any example, just come up with it, imagine it. Okay, think generic. Yep, Shang Hung, so you're on the right track. Give me the problem. What's the problem? Okay. All right, I'll give you an example of what I'm thinking of. So optimistic. Okay, so obviously you don't have enough time to write down these notes, but you could write down project manager. You could write down final exams, all right? I just wrote this out for you so you can see the type of thinking that I'm encouraging you to do here, okay? So never worries about his final exams, does great in university, already landed his dream job of being a project manager at BMW. Those are all achieved through optimism and persistence, okay? All right. Yeah, Shang Hung, much better, right? So now you're on the right track. When he first failed the IELTS exam, he didn't worry about it. He studied more, tried it again, and passed with an overall band 9. Okay, fantastic, Shang Hung. That's exactly it. All right. Pretty good. My brother broke his arm. He worked through his injury, recovered, and now he's back to playing sports. Absolutely, Preeti. Okay, good. That's what we're thinking about. All right. So that's optimistic. Or that could also be confidence, right? Let's see. Yeah. Maybe I'll take this one and put it here. Works a little bit better. And then I'll take Shang Hung's and put it up here. So He failed his IELTS exam the first time, got band 5, didn't get depressed, studied hard, and got band 8. Sure. Or band 9. Let's make him into a superstar. Okay, good. So now you have the right idea. So energetic and hardworking. I'm sure you can give me a lot of great examples with that. Let's keep moving forward, members. So now I have one more step here before my 1 minute note-taking time is up. What should I do? Yeah, Barendra, that works for that previous one as well, okay, without feeling pressure. Shang Hung says first sentence, so write your first sentence. Have it ready to go. Okay, so what would be your first sentence here? Okay, describe a healthy and fit person you know that plays sports. Okay, give me your first sentence. That's right, Roshni. I'm happy that you're all thinking about this now. Fantastic. So give me your first sentence for this response. While you're thinking about that, I'm just going to review your response, Barendra. So Barendra says, my brother attempted many competitive exams like IELTS and failed some of them, but he never gave up and didn't feel pressure. In the end, he always succeeded. Okay, Barendra? Yeah, or after losing, so Amarjeet, if I'm looking at yours, after losing some kind of a match or in a sporting event, getting third place, he continues to push forward in hopes of capturing the gold medal. Okay. Okay, so Roshni says Roshni, start with one. One of the healthiest people I know who plays sports is my brother. Okay, so Roshni, use your adjective clause. Who I know is my brother. Raghu, when I think of a healthy person I know, it would have to be my brother Tom. Very good, Raghu. Give the name right away. Just give the examiner the name. My brother Tom. Okay? Very good, Raghu. That's good. I like how you went right at it, answering the question. Shanghung says, I have had a number of fit people in my life, and the most impressive is my brother Henry, who goes to the gym 5 times a week. All right, Shanghung, careful not to have too much information in that first sentence. A number of fit people, because it's plural, right? Number of fit people. And the most impressive person is my brother. Take out the word strong, okay? And the gym part, save that for a little bit later. Okay? All right. Preeti, very good. A person I know who is healthy and plays sports is my brother AJ. Very good, Preeti. Singular, it's one person, so it's plays sports, Preeti. Okay? When I make these corrections, members, be sure to repeat the correction. So Preeti, when you hear me say it with the correction, Shang Hung, repeat the correction, okay? It's very important. So Preeti, one more time. A person I know who is healthy and plays sports is my brother AJ, right? Barendra says, I would like to relate to a person that is healthy and fit. This is my brother Rohit. Barendra, it's okay, just don't forget the controlling idea. It's a healthy and fit person. You have to state that or paraphrase it like athletic, but it needs to be in your first sentence, okay? The controlling idea has to be in that first sentence, okay? Jitendra, here I would like to explain the Indian cricket captain. He has a great fitness level. His sport shapes his body. Jitendra, no, you can't do that because you're going to lose marks. The question is asking you to describe a healthy and fit person you know, okay? Otherwise, it would say describe a famous healthy and fit person or describe a healthy and fit person that plays sports. But here it's someone that you know. When it's someone that you know, it generally means someone that you personally know, okay? All right. So, a very healthy and athletic person whom I know is my brother Tom. Okay. Good. Now, if you can get a paraphrase into your first sentence, that's good. That will show lexical resource right away. So instead of saying plays sports, you can say athletic person, okay? Just remember that word, athletic. Athletes, athleticism. So it's a really nice paraphrase for sports, okay? All right, good. Let's continue. So my notes here, give me the next sentences. Okay, so you've started, your 1 minute is up. The examiner says, now please begin speaking. Again, when I do this, repeat after me. So a very healthy and athletic person whom I know is my brother Tom. Okay, it's whom because in this case, I'm the subject, he's the object. Okay. So one more time, a very healthy and athletic person whom I know is my brother Tom. All right. Now use these notes and create the next sentences. Give that picture to the examiner of what your brother looks like. Okay. And I often find, members, that people who kind of make up their answer instead of really trying to say the truth, they usually do better in part two, especially once they've practiced a little bit. Hi, Mohammed Farouk. Good to have you in class. Make sure to send me an email so I can hook you up with those exclusive videos. Okay, so Shang Hung says he is 178 centimeters tall and weighs 78 kilograms. Not only does he look slim and toned, but also he has great musculature. Okay, so I'll take Shang Hung's there and make some corrections. Don't forget the word weight, Shang Hung. So he is 178 centimeters tall and weighs 78 kilograms. Not only does he look toned, slim, students, slim is not necessarily someone who's fit. Somebody can be slim and not be fit, okay? So not only does he look toned, toned is better. Toned means that there's actual definition to the musculature, okay? So not only does he look toned, but he is also very muscular, okay? Very good. All right. So Raghu says he is 6 feet tall and weighs 75 kilograms. That's good, okay? Jitendra here, I would like to discuss about my younger brother Chaudhry. He loves to play sports at the national level. He often gets free supplements from sponsors. Jitendra, you're really bouncing around with your ideas. You need to work on focusing on structure. So start with your brother Chaudhry. Tell me what he looks like. Tell me what kind of sports he plays. Then tell me about his sponsorship, his diet, his attitude, his achievements. Okay, so you have to have a little bit better structure, Jitendra. If you're bouncing around like this, you will lose marks for coherence, okay? And that's the worst, is to lose marks for that. Raghu, yeah, with a good muscular physical structure. Good. Mohammed, who plays sports often since 10 years of age. I'm not sure, Mohammed, what you mean by standard. You need to be a little bit clearer there. Okay. Pretty good. So he is in his mid 30s. His weight is 65 kilograms, and he is 178 centimeters tall. Students, I want all of you to repeat that. He is 178 centimeters tall, or he has a height of 178 centimeters, okay? He has a height of 178 centimeters, but more natural is he is 178 centimeters tall, okay? Mohammed, it's great that you're contributing. Thank you and welcome, okay? Barendra, sure. So not only does he look toned, but he is also very muscular, and this makes him look very handsome. Pretty good. He has huge biceps, about 16 inches around. Yeah, sure. Let's go like 38. Let's go with metric system. All right, sure. He has huge biceps, like 38 centimeters around, and a washboard stomach. By the way, around is the circumference. Okay, very good. All right. Good, very good. That's okay, Amarjit. You'll be able to catch up later. Remember, these classes are recorded and they are on the channel for a while, okay? So I've used all of these. Again, remember that I'm only spending about 30 seconds on those first two questions, right? So let's get into the next one. So again, careful. We want to focus on these last couple questions. So that's enough for his appearance. Now we're looking at what sports do they play, okay? So let's switch to that. Let's switch to what sports they play, okay? And here are the notes again. Look at the notes. Give me some sentences about what sports they play, all right? Give me a couple sentences. I'm going to get going here a little bit, students, just so you can see more of this, but definitely just keep pushing forward, okay? So okay, that was Yvonne that correctly said. Well, there's team sports, there's competitive sports. Yvonne, I'm not sure if you're still in the class, but that was a very perceptive suggestion. So yes, he has been very active from a young age, about 3 years old, and has played both individual and team sports competitively. Notice how I'm using present perfect here. Definitely try to get some of that present perfect into your part 2 speaking, okay? All right. So his best individual sports are badminton and swimming, and in team sports, he excels in cricket and football. Okay, so Barendra says he likes to play many sports, but he plays cricket most of the time. Roshni says playing badminton 5 days a week not only keeps him fit, but also boosts his confidence. That's where I would go next, Roshni. So now I would break into how sports affect his life and give examples for that. Be very direct, members. So when you're talking about that, be very, very direct. So sports have had a very positive influence on my brother's life. He has grown up to be a very confident and optimistic person. If he doesn't succeed the first time, he doesn't give up or get depressed. Instead, he works even harder to succeed the next time around. In fact, he got a band 5.5 on his IELTS exam 3 months ago. So he burned the midnight oil and studied every day. And just last month, he got an overall score of band 7.5. Okay, so putting examples and actions to those personalities, to those achievements. All right. In addition, being consistently athletic, my brother Tom has great work ethic. He studies at least 8 hours a day and works another 6 hours at a graphic design company. Just making that up as I go along. I'm visualizing my brother Tom and I'm explaining that. Am I done? So at this point, members, am I done? Okay. I'm moving forward because I really want you to see how you can get fluency in your thoughts. Think about personality, back it up with action. Yeah, so Preeti says he is inspirational for me. So Preeti, you're right. I'm not done yet because there's still that last part, right? Which is always look at the card, make sure you're answering all the question. What is your opinion of him or her? Yeah, exactly, Preeti. So the opinion is still remaining. So many times students forget one of those questions, and that's not good, okay? So I am extremely fond of my brother and admire him for his achievements. He inspires me to be active and healthy, and I'm happy to have him as part of my life. I truly think that he will continue to be very successful in the future. Perhaps one day owning and operating his own design company and fitness gym. Okay, just moving along, still visualizing, picturing him evolving and doing better. All right, so that's the response, and I will post that on the channel. Practice saying that. Students, you've done a fantastic job. Welcome new members to our YouTube channel. Make sure to send me an email. Again, my email address, Muhammad, is Adrian, Adrian, at aehelp.com. And coming up in 30 minutes, I will do speaking part 3, which is related to this topic of part 2, a fit and healthy person who you know. That's all the time I have for this class. Make sure to join for speaking part 3. Everybody will be able to jump in on the chat for that class. So if you're watching this session, that's great. You'll be able to relate to this discussion. Preeties, send it to me by email or as an MP3 recording, and I will gladly respond to you on that. Again, members, students, aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Join our premium package there, and make sure to link your app, academic IELTS help, with our website so that you're learning from one account. GIELTS help for the general version of the exam. Check us out there, and hopefully see most of you in 30 minutes. Bye for now. Catch you later.